running mate. Southeast is not meant for running mates. What we wanted as a zone was to be the president of Nigeria. And I was convinced that it was proper for us to ask for it. But in this business, it's partisan democracy. The minority will have their view, but the majority will have their way. In the wisdom of the delegates that elected the presidential candidate, a candidate has emerged. Our party, APC, will now come together, work for our candidate, and produce the next president. Simple. There is nowhere in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria where religion is a factor or a characteristic as to who becomes the president or who becomes the running mate. But we are looking for a united Nigeria where governance will be the issue, where a president will be adjudged by his capacity to deliver democratic dividends, develop Nigeria to look like other parts of the Western world where democracy is working. I don't want us to reduce governance in Nigeria to certain things that will encourage divisiveness. Rather, we should be a united Nigeria, be our brothers' keepers, have a president of Nigeria that will be a president representing every tribe, every religion, every denomination. Yes. And when we get there, we'll cross the bridge. The decision also to choose a running mate does not reside with any of us or the governors. It is the presidential candidate that will look at the local characteristics and every factors, political and apolitical, that will make him win his election and take the decision. So it's not a decision that we sit here and take for the candidate. Why not? Ahmed Tinubu, have you forgotten that he was a former governor for 8 years? If he chooses a governor, so be it. We will support. Now we are no longer talking about who becomes running mate and who is not running mate. I have told you whose decision it is. The next thing as party leaders now and the opinion leaders is for us to rise up, mobilize the polity, and get members of our party committing to a successful election by 2023, so that our president that is leaving will also be handing over to our own president of APC. That is our preoccupation now, how to win the elections. I did not say it's not about single faith. I said these are internal characteristics that the decision maker may consider in the process of taking his decision. The decision whether to choose Mr. A or Mr. B to be a running mate to a candidate is entirely that of the candidate. So it is not going to, you started by saying the governors at Southeast are complaining of being, they don't have opportunity of being a running mate anymore. But that is not the entire ambition, the sole ambition of the Southeasterners, to talk of the governors from Southeast, to be a running mate. And in the business of presidential primaries, there is no election for a presidential candidate. The business there is just to elect a candidate. In that ballot paper, there is no room for delegates to vote for who will be a running mate. So that explains why it is not a decision for the public, for the people. It is a decision for the candidate. The first thing to do is to elect a candidate. A candidate has emerged. Now the candidate will factor into consideration some ideas and issues like how to create a spread. Spread is very important to be able to attract votes. So the decision of who becomes your candidate, your running mate, if I were the candidate, what will inform it is what will I do as an action that will enable me to get the kind of votes I'm looking for. Because the ultimate goal is to win the election. So if maybe I'll start from denomination, ethnicity, or fellowship. But this business of democracy, I think number is what is very important. And there are certain things as a nation we should not bring to the public discourse. Those things that are capable of creating divisiveness in against national unity should not be encouraged. It does not mean that I will not remember that I come from a place. But I must also be cautious and be careful how to use where I come from in taking national decisions. That is very important. So when I interviewed the channels the morning of the convention, I told you that one of the conventions governing our polity in Nigeria is the power shift. The power comes to the north and goes to the south. When power came to the south in 1999, we ceded it to southwest, and all of us voted as Nigerians. The next time power came to the south, it went to south-south, and all of us voted as Nigerians. We expected that now the power came back to the south, it will go to the southeast. But you see, it's not a decision that the geopolitical zone alone will do. No geopolitical zone can become a president without the participation of other geopolitical zones. So when you don't get the cooperation, you begin to find out why. And you work towards getting the cooperation next time. Because it has to be a united country for you to become a president. And we are not talking about president of Southeast, president of South-South, or president of Southwest. We are talking about president of Nigeria. For a Southerner to become a president, he needs the vote from the North. For a Northerner to become the president, he needs the vote from the South. In our constitution, 2/3 of the states, you must have at least minimum of 25% votes registered in those states. So we look at the guidelines, we look at the rules. Our country is a rule-driven country, and the grand norm is the constitution of the country. So we are working with it. All we are saying is that for equity, for fairness, for justice, that the certain sentiments should be considered when we are taking national decisions. But we don't think that is enough to disorganize our country. We must move forward. Well, thank you for the accolade on the successful convention of APC. Each time I came to speak with you people here, I always tell you that APC is a very robust and strong party that will stand all storms. Contrary to the expectation of some people in some quarters, I was very confident that we will organize a successful convention. The last convention that ushered in national executive of our great party, there were some ugly expectations that there will be crisis. To the disappointment of some expectations, there was none. And the national officers of the party emerged, and we had a very successful convention. This time around, there were also expectations from some quarters that would be the end of APC. But I was very confident, knowing fully well that APC is the party to beat in Nigeria, and the enthusiasm that they greeted the convention, I was very confident that we will have a successful outing. And of course, in recent history, I have not seen a very colorful, smooth, and very successful convention like the last APC convention, for which I'm sure that you are witnesses to. So we are ready to go. Any other thing now is post-convention discussion, which is going into our campaign. Today, all of us are going to Ekiti to flag off our grand finale of the gubernatorial campaign of APC, that will elect a new governor in Ekiti State. Unfortunately, due to some of these engagements I have here, I may not be there, but I'm there with them in spirit. And whatever that is happening there by APC, I'm part and parcel of it. The upcoming commissioning of the projects in Imo State, as you are aware, Last time I came here with a letter of invite to Mr. President to invite him to come to Imo State on a walking tour. And during that visit, he will be commissioning Owerri to Olo, newly dualized highway, and the Owerri to Okigwe. And by the grace of God, reconstructed the State House of Assembly, fully equipped and furnished. And in furtherance to that visit, I'm here to dot the I's and cross the T's as to when exactly he will be coming. And I'm currently working with the scope and other aides of the President to agree on a specific date.